You're tuned in to Sports from the Hoodwood, the internet's premier location for no-nonsense commentary, insight, and opinions on the world of sports. Here now, the man with 100% certified fresh takes, your host, KJ Green.
Now, if things look a little different, they are, because I'm filming off of my iPad rather than my iMac, which has been acting silly. The studio's been acting silly. But, like the esteemed journalist Roland Martin likes to say, go to my iPad, go to my iPad. That's what I'm doing. So if things look a little weird, that's just the way it is. Snuffy's over my shoulder, my older Mac. Not that it's not my current Mac that I threw away. That's a different one, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get to the rest of the week 17 picks. I am so far 2-1. For some reason, my microphone decided not to work. So I had to kind of improvise and everything like that. So if things look a little ragged, please forgive me. Let's start with the Sunday games. So far, I've been correct on the Cowboys beating the Commanders and the Broncos beating the Chiefs, even though the Broncos struggled mightily in Kansas City to overcome a very weakened Chiefs team. And of course, as is my wont, the Vikings have decided to play good down the stretch and more or less knock the Lions out of playoff contention with their 23-10 win on Christmas afternoon. As I am filming this right now, the Texans and Chargers are playing their playoff rematch from last year, and the Ravens and Packers will play on Saturday night. I've already picked the Chargers and the Packers to win those respective games. So those games are not counted in that total. And like I said, I went 11-5 last week. So we'll finish up the Sunday games, at least the first half of it. I'll put this in, I guess, 2 segments again, another short show, and we will try to get this taken care of. First game on the docket for the games of Sunday, December 28th. Again, check your local listings for the games in your area or consult the fine coverage map provided by 506sports.com. They have an excellent coverage map of the games that be played in your area, all games Eastern Standard Time. And this is a Fox doubleheader weekend with the 425 game being shown nationally. That Eagles-Bills game will be shown on a nationwide basis as well. So let's get to the games of Sunday, December 28th. The first game on the docket is the 9-6 Steelers taking on the 3-12 Browns at Huntington Bank Field in Cleveland. 1 o'clock kickoff on CBS. The Steelers are 3-point favorites. Last week, the Steelers defeated the Lions 29-24, while the Browns lost to the Bills 23-20. The Browns are basically, you would think that they're mailing it in, but they have been playing hard for Myles Garrett, who is trying to get the sack record, where the Steelers are doggedly determined to keep him from getting at least against them and trying to prevent them from happening in the Browns home finale. That being said, the Steelers are vulnerable. They struggled mightily with the Lions and needed a kind whistle from the referees to wipe out what would have been a game-winning touchdown against the Lions in Detroit last week. I still think that they'll struggle with the Browns, as they have been wont to do against what they would consider weaker opponents. The Browns won't roll over, but they won't knock the Steelers down. I think the Steelers should be able to trudge out this win. Playoff implications here: if the Steelers win, they win the AFC North. I think they do that. The pick here is Pittsburgh. Next on the docket, we have the 12-3 Patriots taking on the 3-12 Jets at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. The Patriots are 13.5-point favorites. Last week, the Patriots defeated the Ravens 28-24, while the Jets lost to the Saints 29-6. The Jets have basically been mailing it in since the middle of October, and the Patriots would like nothing more than to kick their despised rival when they're down, and they should be able to do it pretty easily. After a thrilling win in Baltimore, I think that the Patriots should not be overlooking the Jets. They have clinched the playoff berth and are getting one step closer to clinching their first AFC title since 2019. I think they should be able to do that with ease. I don't think they can clinch. They don't think they can clinch this week, but they can get closer to that end. The pick here is New England. That is the Hoodwood lock of the week. Next on the docket, we have the 5-10 Saints taking on the 3-12 Titans at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. 1 p.m. kickoff on CBS. The Saints are 2.5-point favorites. Last week, Saints defeated the Jets 29-6, while the Titans defeated the Chiefs 26-9. Both of these teams have been playing better as of late. The Titans knocking around and playing bully ball against the Chiefs, something that might have been heretofore unexpected a couple of months ago, as bad as they've been playing. The Saints have been playing solid as of late, winning 4 of their last 5 and knocking off a couple of teams that thought they would have an easy way to go against the Saints. Both these teams will play each other pretty strong, but I do think the Saints have coalesced their offense and are playing more for a future that seems a lot brighter. Cam Ward is struggling for the Titans, though he did play good against the Chiefs. I think that the Saints defense will give him a lot more trouble than he's expecting. It'll be a tight game, but I think that the Saints can win this on the road. The pick is New Orleans. Next on the docket, we have the 7-8 Buccaneers taking on the 6-9 Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. The Buccaneers are 5.5-point favorites. Last week, the Bucs lost to the Panthers 23-20, while the Dolphins lost to the Bengals 45-21. This game is a matchup of free-falling teams. The Dolphins thought they at least had somebody to pull you around, and the Bengals dropped 45 on them, marching up and down the field on a suddenly suspect defense. The Buccaneers, what happened to this group? People were talking Super Bowl about this crew for a while, and then all of a sudden, they just can't stop anybody with a shameful loss against the Panthers, a game that they really should have won. I think the Bucs should stop their free fall, because if they don't, they may not have a chance to win the division, because they need to win to set up a win or go home game against the Panthers next week in Tampa. Can they do it? I think they hang on just long enough to be able to set that showdown up. Pick here is Tampa Bay. Next on the docket, we have the 12-3 Seahawks taking on the 8-7 Panthers at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. 1 o'clock kickoff on CBS. The Seahawks are 7.5-point favorites. I beg your pardon, they are 7-point favorites. 7-point favorites. Last week, the Seahawks defeated the Rams 38-37 in overtime, while the Panthers defeated the Buccaneers 23-20. Sneaky good game on the early docket. The Seahawks closing in fast on an NFC West title. They need every win they can get to hold off the hard-charging Rams and 49ers in their division. The Panthers winning a gutty, gritty game against the Buccaneers also need to stack wins. They may also be able to clinch the division if they win and the Buccaneers lose. So they're going to be giving the Seahawks all they can get. West Coast team headed east should be a bit of a problem. Do I smell an upset here? You know what? I'm going to go against the grain. I think the Panthers may be able to steal this game. Now, I'm probably going to make myself regret this, but this just smells like an upset. Though the Seahawks have been rested, and after playing a Thursday game, having a kind of a mini bye, but the game is in Charlotte, West Coast team headed east, I think might be bad news. That's why I'm going to put the Carolina Panthers as the Hoodwood upset of the week. Next on the docket, we have the 3-12 Cardinals taking on the 5-10 Bengals at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati. 1 o'clock kickoff on Fox. The Bengals are 7-point favorites. Last week, the Bengals defeated the Dolphins 45-21, while the Cardinals lost again. If I can find it, there we go. They lost to the Falcons 26-19. This is a ho-hum, who cares game in Cincinnati. Both these teams playing out the string. The Cardinals have long since mailed it in, while the Bengals are trying to prove that they are not haven't fallen off that far and can finish strong. They racked up points against a supposedly decent Miami defense they made look suspect. Joe Burrow going up and down the field, throwing for 4 touchdowns. Chase Brown looking like the kind of quality running back that the Bengals have lost needed since Joe Mixon left. I don't think the Cardinals are really going to give them that much trouble. West Coast team headed east for early game, and the Cardinals have long since mailed this in. I think the Bengals should be able to roll fairly easily. The pick here is Cincinnati. With that, we'll take time out and come back with the late docket. Sports Hoodwood, just the NFL picks rolls on after this.
Is today your last day on Earth because you are being deployed to space tomorrow? Have you just turned 18 and you're ready to get out of your parents' house? Has your granddaughter gotten her boyfriend pregnant? Whatever your reason, you need us at GottaGetMarriedNow.com. We specialize in last-minute weddings. Active duty, military veterans and retired discounts are available. Visit us at GottaGetMarriedNow.com.
You're tuned into Sports from the Hoodwood, the internet's foremost location for no-nonsense commentary, insight, and opinions on the world of sports. Here now live in living color, black by popular demand, your host, KJ Green.
Let's keep going with the Week 17 slate of games. The 11-4 Jags taking on the 8-7 Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, 1 o'clock kickoff on Fox. The Jags are 5.5-point favorites. Last week, the Jags defeated the Broncos 34-20, while the Colts lost to the 49ers 48-27. This is a tale of two teams going in the vastly opposite direction. The Red Hot Jags steamrolled the Broncos in Mile High, not a mean feat, going into Denver and beating the Red Hot Broncos, while the Colts behind Phillip Rivers, the aged Phillip Rivers, just fell apart as the Niners steamrolled them themselves in clinching a playoff spot and more or less putting the Colts playoff hopes on life support. The Jags have had the Colts number for a number of years. I know when the Colts played the Jags a few weeks ago, I thought that the Colts would be able to go into Jacksonville to win. This is the opposite. I feel very confident the Jags can go into Indianapolis and defeat the aged Colts, despite the best efforts of Phillip Rivers, who's trying like a scout, but he does not have the tools nor the latent talent to be able to overcome a fearsome, ball-hawking, big play defense that the Jags possess. I think the Jags win easily. The pick here is The pick here is Jacksonville. Moving on to the late games, we go to the 2-13 Giants versus the 2-13 Raiders at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, 4:05 kickoff on CBS. The Giants are 2.5-point favorites. Last week, the Giants lost to the Vikings 16-13, while the Raiders lost to the Texans 23-21. Two teams going nowhere. The less said about them, the better. Though the Giants have been playing decently with Jackson Dart, I do think that they should, and I'm putting a stretch here, should be able to overcome the Raiders who are falling apart fast, as you can say, fall apart. Losing Max Crosby to a knee injury will not help the semi-weak Raiders pass rush. It makes it even weaker. I think Pete Carroll is living on borrowed time. He may not have a job after this season. Just a total disaster. On the Raiders side, the Giants, they fired Brian Dabble about a couple months ago. They've been playing decently, but they haven't got any wins to show for it. Will it make a difference here? I think it will. Flip a coin on this one. The pick here is the New York Giants. Next on the docket, we have the 10-5 Eagles taking on the 11-4 Bills at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. 4:25 kickoff on Fox is a nationally televised game. The Bills are 1.5-point favorites. Last week, the Eagles defeated the Commanders 29-18, while the Bills defeated the Browns 23-20. Good game to wrap up the afternoon slate of games. The Eagles clinched the NFC East. They are playoff bound. They're trying to solidify their playoff spot. The Bills are trying to run down the Patriots in the AFC East and need to stack wins as quickly as possible. This will be almost like a playoff game, even though both teams are in the playoffs, but they need this for positioning. I think that the Bills are playing better ball. Even though the Eagles have finally recovered after their puzzling slide, where they were playing kind of uneven over the last month or so, but got right with an easy win over Washington. I still don't trust that the Eagles are all the way back, though. And the Bills, yes, they over-rely on Josh Allen and James Cook a little too much. Yes, their defense can be suspect at times. Yes, they have a tendency to wander off against weaker opponents. Read the way they played against the weakling Browns. But I think that they'll get their minds right against the Eagles, and though it will be a tough game, I think that they should pull it out at home. Bills Mafia still has that magic, and I think that the home crowd will be able to push them over the finish line for a tight win. The pick here is Buffalo. Sunday night game is the 11-4 Bears taking on the 11-4 49ers at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. 8:20 kickoff on NBC and Peacock. The 49ers are 3-point favorites. Yes, I know I mixed up the date and time for last week's game for the 49ers and Colts. Stop bugging me about it. I'm sorry. I messed it up. I'm human. But this game is in Santa Clara. This game is on Sunday night. The Bears are underdogs. And they have been playing over their heads the whole season. Witness that crazy ending to the Packers game last week in front of a frenzied crowd in the Midway. Going to San Francisco and playing a tough 49ers team is going to be a tougher call. The 49ers, yes, I know they've been hurt. Yes, I know they've been battling the injury bug, but I think they're finally putting it together, and they're going to be a tough out come the playoffs. They're still trying to run down the Rams and the Seahawks, who are in front of them in the NFC West in an absolutely loaded division. But do I think that the Bears can be able to get by them? No, not really. I think that the Bears, though they are still trying to hold off the Packers for the NFC North title, they still have a really tough gamut to go. And they have that game against the Lions next week, which may determine their playoff fate. I think the Niners stay in the playoff hunt, which they've already clinched the playoff spot to begin with, but I think that they should be able to edge the Bears in a really tight game worthy of prime time. The pick here is San Francisco. Finally, the Monday night game has the 11-4 Rams taking on the 6-9 Falcons at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. 8:15 kickoff on ESPN. The Rams are 7.5-point favorites. Last week, the Rams lost to the Seahawks 38-37, while the Falcons defeated the Cardinals. I can't even talk. I was looking right at it. Last week, the Rams defeated the Seahawks 38-37 in overtime, while the Falcons defeated the Cardinals 26-19. The Falcons have been playing up and down, up and down, up and down. Playing, weirdly, they can play decently on the road, but struggle at home. Or beat good teams that they should have no problem beating, but then struggle against weak teams. Make it make sense. The Rams are in no mood to play charity. I think even though they are a West Coast team headed east, I think with plenty of rest, I think they should have their minds right and should have no problem against the Falcons. The pick here is the LA Rams. And there you have it. Last week, I went 11-5. The lock and upset both correct. Overall, I am 163, 76, and 1. 14-2 on my locks, 9-7 on the upsets. We will have a full show coming up this week. I've been crazy trying to get stuff together. We will talk about Kyle Whittingham jumping from Utah to Michigan, all the coaching changes, NIL deals that have been getting crazier and crazier by the week, who I'm looking forward to be the favorite in both the NBA and NCAA, as well as anything else I can think of off the top of my head. So, we will catch up all that. We'll catch up next week, coming up this week, the end of the year show. Snuffy will still have the holiday hat on, and we'll try to get it all together. But until then, next time, fellow sports fans, I'm KJ Green, and Willie Bev Son.
Sports from the Hoodwood is a Black Bandit Productions and Enterprises presentation of a 551 Audio and Films production.